My density column. It's a little difficult to see all the layers in the camera, but the bottom is honey. The red above the honey is corn syrup that I dyed with red food coloring. The dark band right above that is maple syrup. The green band is Green Dawn dishwashing liquid. The dark band above that is blue. It's hard to tell, but it's water. Right above that is vegetable oil, and then the very tippy top is rubbing alcohol with purple dye. I went a little heavy on my darker dyes, so you can't really tell they're blue and purple. But trust me, in person, they're pretty nice. We're going to start adding some kitchen foods to the column to see how the densities compare to those of the liquids. By my column, you can see some assorted small kitchen items that we're going to test to see how they compare to the densities in our column. I've got chocolate chips, goldfish crackers, small pasta, fruit snacks from my kids' snack cabinet, 2 small cherry tomatoes, some marshmallows, some really old popcorn kernels, so I don't know what their moisture content is anymore, and then some jasmine rice. We're going to drop each of these gently into the column and see if we can tell where they land. Column one more time, and we're going to drop something in to see where it will go. I've decided that I want to start with my popcorn kernels. So I'm going to grab a couple popcorn kernels and see if I drop them, if you can tell what layer they land in. Oh, it looks like they're slowly sinking into the maple syrup, which means that they are more dense than, yes, the dishwashing liquid, and they are probably less dense than the maple syrup because they are floating at the top. I think next I would like to try a chocolate chip. So I have 2 chocolate chips here, and I will drop them in. 1, 2, and see where they land. Very interesting. They also appear, and it's difficult for you to see because they're brown like the maple syrup, they too appear to be floating in the maple syrup. Alright, so we've done the chocolate chip and the corn kernel, and they both landed in the maple syrup. Next, I am going to try some of this pasta that I have. These small pasta. Apparently, everything in my kitchen is approximately the same density because, as you can see, the pasta is slowly sinking through the dishwashing liquid into the maple syrup layer. The maple syrup layer is also the layer that is the darkest and that I can see through the least, which is less exciting. It is at the bottom of the maple syrup layer instead of the top. The chocolate chips are at the top. The corn kernel is floating at the top, but the pasta has sunk to the bottom and actually has a tip of itself in the corn syrup. We'll keep an eye on it to see if it continues to sink because those more dense liquids are more viscous and a little bit difficult for the things to penetrate quickly. My next item I want to choose is a cherry tomato. To me, cherry tomatoes seem like they would be similar to water because they're very juicy. Where do you predict it will end up? Let's see. I don't want it to be a big splash. Okay. The cherry tomato is denser than water, but I think we finally have something that's going to land in a different place, and you can actually see it very clearly. Our cherry tomato is floating right in the middle of the green layer, which is the Dawn dishwashing liquid. So the tomato is less dense than the maple syrup. What else is it less dense than? We have the corn syrup, the honey. What about the other items we dropped in? What can we say about how the tomato compares in density to those items? It is less dense then the corn and the chocolate and the pasta. Our next item, let's see, I'm going to choose a gummy fruit snack. My children love gummy fruit snacks. These are by Mott's. This is a carrot. Let's see where the carrot ends up. Oh, look. Now there's another problem with me dyeing my water so dark you can't see it at all. But I will tell you, and you probably saw it float back up there, the carrot fruit snack is within the water layer. We have almost made it to the end. I'm going to drop a goldfish cracker. It floats on the top of the rubbing alcohol layer. Now I'm going to drop a marshmallow. It also floats on the top. Why would these two items float on the top, would you say? Drop into our column. I've got some rice. Let's see where the rice ends up. Can you see it dropping? Slowly, slowly, slowly. It looks like it might be part of the maple syrup family. It is. It has come to a stop and is laying at the very, very top of the maple syrup layer. It's not sinking down into the maple syrup at all. And I told you I would keep an eye on our pasta. Our pasta has sunk completely into the corn syrup layer. So here's a summary of what we've got. The most dense of our solid items was the pasta, which sunk to the corn syrup layer. Inside our maple syrup layer, we have rice, popcorn kernels of 2 different densities, and chocolate chips. We have a tomato in our dishwashing liquid. We have a invisible fruit snack in our water layer, and floating on top of our alcohol layer, we have a goldfish cracker and a marshmallow. This has been a lot of fun, more fun than I expected. Isn't it neat to see science in action in your kitchen?